When we talk about grading collectibles, like with PSA or BGS, it's always really tempting to demonstrate the wins.
Oh, look at my PSA 10 Mothman.
10, 10, 10, 10, 10. But the truth is, there's actually a lot of failures when it comes to grading as well. There are errors and issues with the cards that you didn't notice before you sent it in. It comes back, and you're sitting there staring at a PSA 7 or 8 or 5, wondering what the heck happened. So I thought, let's take a little break from that and talk about the worst, the dumpster fires. I'm going to show you 3 recent mistakes that I made when I was sending some cards for grading so that you don't have to do it. You don't have to make these mistakes when you're sending your cards in for grading. These are my 3 biggest PSA fails in the last couple of months. Let's go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Argos Anonymous. I am Argos. If you have found us from somewhere out there in the interweb, you don't know who we are, consider joining us. We are everything MetaZoo, up-to-date accurate news and information, product reviews, crazy shenanigans, giveaways, live streams. So PSA grading, what a point of contention. You know, it seems like everybody gets 10s. That's what we see posted on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Discord. We just see a lot of 10s. Some people have a huge submission and all we see are PSA 10s. And what we don't see nearly enough of are all of the fails. Because I guarantee you they are happening. There are huge returns that people get back and they just get annihilated by PSA grading, or mistakes that we made, things that we missed, dents in the card, creases, all kinds of stuff. And I thought maybe it would be more useful, instead of just showing off a pile of 10s, let's talk about the fails. So the first major fail we're going to talk about is when we're grading MetaZoo Genesis Hero Quest 1.0. So what happened with these cards, and these cards are pretty low pop, they're very popular to grade right now. We're seeing PSA 10s are going for quite a lot of money, between $150, $250 for some of them. And the reason is because the population is pretty low. I think it's about 450, give or take 10 or 20 per card. And there's about 66 cards in the set. So people are collecting these, people are grading these. And one thing you have to watch out for if you're buying these on secondary markets is that there is a known defect in a lot of these cards that will result in a low grade. And the card can be otherwise gorgeous. So what's in this is a promo pack that contains 1 card, okay? But there's also a CD in here, and the CD, the casing of the CD has little ridges in it, right? So what happens with these cards is you have dents in the cards, not all of them, but they have a subtle surface dent. And if you don't notice it, you can send in a card for grading and get totally annihilated. So this is an otherwise beautiful Flatwoods monster. The centering is good. The card looks clean. The edges and corners are beautiful. It's got a really nice hollow. It's not covered in scratches or print lines. Beautiful card. But if you're not scrutinizing the surface, notice how at many angles this card looks totally normal. If you're not scrutinizing the surface, let's get my tool. If you're not looking at the surface, you might miss this ding. Do you see that? It's almost like just like the head of a pin, right? It's a really small dent on the surface of this card, and that is an instant PSA 7. If you don't notice this, you can have a perfect card, and PSA is going to hammer you with a 7. If you're buying and selling these on eBay, you have to look for these, or you might sell to somebody who's going to be pissed off, right? Your buyer's going to be mad if they notice this. If you're buying these on eBay, you need to get good photos from multiple angles. See how you can't see this on a lot of angles. You need to get multiple angles looking at the card surface so that you can recognize these, because a lot of sellers might not even see it. They genuinely might not notice it if they're not scrutinizing the surface of this card, but PSA will, and they will hammer you for it. And in a recent submission to PSA, I sent in 3 Hero Quest cards, and 2 of them came back as I expected. They did well, and 1 of them got annihilated by PSA because I missed the dent. And I swear, I thought I was even looking for them. I must have been a little bit sloppy this day, but we got this beautiful PSA 10 Iowa Dragon, Hero Quest Genesis 1.0. We got a beautiful PSA 10 Snipe from Hero Quest 1.0. Really, really nice. And then we got annihilated on an otherwise beautiful Bigfoot. Look at that guy. The centering is great. It's a beautiful card. The edges and corners are crisp. And why does it get a 7? And you might get this back and if you didn't know about the dents, you might be all mad about it, wondering like, well, PSA, not consistent. But if you look at the surface of this Bigfoot, there is a we're talking tiny. There's a tiny surface dent, and it's right there. It's like the head of a pin. It is so tiny. You can see it. You can barely see it right there. And that is from the casing that was holding the CD. And that is why I got a PSA 7 on this otherwise gorgeous MetaZoo Hero Quest Bigfoot. So if you're submitting to PSA, you gotta mind yo surface. They really care about the surface of those cards. Next, we're gonna talk about what can happen with a lot of different MetaZoo cards, any kind of cards actually, for even other TCGs that have foiling where the hollow pattern on the card consists of sheets of hollow. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a moment. Because what you have is you have these lines between these hollow sheets, where I call them hollow sheet transition lines, right? And it shows up as a horizontal line across the hollow pattern of a card that is a break in the pattern of the hollow. So if you have like stars or moons or something like that in the hollow, you might see like all of a sudden there's half a star or half a moon, and then like the hollow sheet transitions to another part of the pattern. That will earn you a PSA 9. In an otherwise perfect card, PSA will often, because of the decreased like the eye appeal of the card, they will hit you for that and they'll drop it down. They don't always. If it's subtle and it's way on the edge, if it's a little thing like that, maybe they'll let it slide. But if it's not subtle, you're gonna get hit. And that's what happened to me on these Kickstarter cards. So why did I got 2 beautiful 10s on these Kickstarter Pizza Birds, and then I got a 9 on this Quetzal, and we'll show you why. So here is a beautiful Piazza Bird MetaZoo base set Kickstarter first edition card. Got a nice PSA 10. As you can see, like the centering is good. It's a beautiful card. There's no real dings or scratches. It's just a beautiful Pizza Bird. Same with this Pizza Bird. And I swear I looked at these cards like I knew going into this that I should be seeing these things, but I must have been like, I was tired. I wasn't thorough enough, and I sent this on in and I got hammered for it. So this is an otherwise beautiful Quetzalcoatlus. The centering is good enough. The edges are clean, the corners are clean, surface is clean, there's no scratching. But what you had was a hollow sheet transition line. So you can see across the top of the hollow, there is a horizontal line going across that top. And you can really pick it out when you look at the stars themselves. So at the right angle of this card, you can see where some of the stars are actually cut in half. Like right up here, there's a star, and all you can see is the bottom of the star, and then the top of it is gone. And that's because you're transitioning to another segment of the hollow sheet, and so it cuts the pattern off and goes to another pattern, right? Or there's a different place in the same pattern. And PSA will look at these things and they will decide whether or not it's visually distracting enough. And here you can see as well, some of the stars just cut off, right? Cut off, cut off, cut off, cut off, cut off, right? That's your transition line. It's not a print line. People call it a print line, but it actually has nothing to do with the printing and everything to do with the construction of just the materials. So anyway, there you go. So that is a brutal transition line, and it did earn me a 9 instead of a 10. So if you're really serious about sending in those MetaZoo cards, even if you have a perfect card, you gotta look for those hollow sheet transition lines, because if they're not really subtle, then you're probably not going to get a 10. Okay, this last one is so bad. This is by far the worst one. This is the worst PSA return card I've had since I started sending MetaZoo cards to PSA. I must have been like, I was like sleep grading this day. This is really bad. So I sent in this 2021 MetaZoo Collecticon Emerald City promo, because some of these like first generation, this first circuit of MetaZoo promos are going up in value. It's a fun little set to collect. The ding bell, like racing around the moon, riding the rocket, going to Mars, going to Saturn, etc. MetaZoo really had fun with it. So I only had one of these, and I sent it in, and PSA gave me a 5. And at first I looked at it and I was like, whoa, why'd you give me a 5? And then I'm going, oh my gosh, I must have missed something really significant. So I'm looking at this card for like surface damage and I don't see it. I'm looking for dings that I missed. I don't see it. I'm looking at the centering and I'm like, geez, the centering is like really good. What did I miss? Is there a really bad hollow sheet transition? Is there a scratch? I didn't see anything. I turned the card over, and on the back, right on the back, there's a crease in the card. Can you see that? The card itself is actually creased. A creased card like that will earn you an instant 5. You can have an otherwise beautiful card, and if you are somehow sloppy, if you're asleep enough like I was to send in a card like this with I must have just not looked at the back, and it's more subtle on the front than it is on the back. Like you can see it on the front, but it's just more subtle than it was in the back. And so I missed it. I must have not looked at the back. I sent it in, and PSA did not miss it. They caught it, and they slapped me in the face with a big fat 5. So those are my 3 biggest mistakes coming from PSA in the last like couple of months. Actually, all 3 of them came in just like one of the last few returns. So hopefully that helps you avoid some of the pitfalls of sending in MetaZoo cards for grading, because it costs money to grade, and like you really, you want to be looking for some basic things to help optimize the efficiency of your investment when it comes to grading cards, because theoretically grading cards is going to help protect your card and help protect it for like display or increase the value. And if you're sending in cards like I did, like creased cards, then unless it's a washing machine Charizard, it is definitely not going to improve the value of your card, and you waste $15 grading it. These are all bulk gradings, so I only paid $15 a piece, so it's not like horrible, but it's still a waste of time and money. Or not a complete waste, I guess, because now we get to use this for a video. So I'd love to know what you think. What are your greatest victories and greatest fails coming out of PSA or BGS or Diamond Service Grading, like any of these grading companies that are used? Do you have any tips or tricks of your own? I know some people that do the whole 9 yards when they submit. They can smooth out the edges. They can get rid of little fingerprints. They're really, really good at it. What do you do? Do you even look, or do you just send everything in blind? Everyone has a different style. Put it in the comments. Let's all share. That's all I've got for now. Thank you, MetaFam, for stopping by. I always do appreciate this opportunity to entertain you fine peoples of MetaZoo. Until next time, this is Argos, signing out.